Well, thank you for joining us. To our very first story this morning, presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party, Nana Addo has urged party members to respect a decision by the National Executive Committee on Friday to suspend party chairman Paul Afoko. A statement from the flag bearer reads, quote, "I am calling on all loyal members of the party to respect the decision of NEC and the constitution of the party, which provides channels for redressing grievances," unquote. The statement adds, "I profoundly regret that matters have come to this. Such a development has been rather rare in the history of our party. I had hoped that internal discussions and a spirit of cooperation would have enabled the party to avoid such an eventuality. However, the appropriate organs of the party have acted. I am therefore calling on all loyal members of the party to respect the decision of NEC and the constitution of the party, which provides channels for redressing grievances. We need to conduct ourselves in a disciplined manner that will protect and promote the integrity and unity of the party," unquote. Well, following that statement, Embattled Chairman Paul Afoko has come out to say he will not heed the flag bearer's call, seeing that the meeting that led to his supposed dismissal was unconstitutional. In an interview with Joy News earlier this morning, spokesperson for Mr. Afoko, Nanaya Osei, said Mr. Paul Afoko still sees himself as party chair, as such will conduct his duties as chairman of the NPP regardless of the position of the party's flag bearer, Nana Addo.
Those who were not for Mr. Afoko refused to accept the fact that the man had been given the mandate as the national chairman of the party.
Who are these people you speak of?
I cannot give you specific names, but if you look at post-Tamale, it's a clear case of will not give you the peace of mind to work as national chairman. I don't need to come and be giving you names, because you yourself, you asked me even after Tamale, bickerings and all that, they were your worst. It means that you yourself, as somebody outside the party, that is what you have seen or heard or felt.
So who could be behind this?
I don't know. I'm saying that opponents of Mr. Paul Afoko, who didn't want him to become national chairman, we have reason to believe that they have still not accepted the fact that he was given the mandate as a national chairman.
Prior to the Congress, many suggested that the flag bearer Nana Akufo-Addo had his preferred candidates, and Mr. Paul Afoko was not one of such. Could he possibly in any way be related to all this?
Those who were against Mr. Afoko's candidature have still not accepted that after Tamale Congress or conference, he became the national chairman, and that he should be given the peace of mind to work.
Does Mr. Afoko still see himself as the party chairman?
Very much so. Why would you want him not to see himself as the national chairman? You think over 4,500 delegates who elected him in Tamale didn't know what they were doing?
So what does that mean? He's still going to see out his mandate, go through, do everything he's supposed to do?
The functions of his office.
How exactly? Because clearly, per that NEC decision, that supposedly has been backed by the flag bearer Nana Akufo-Addo.
Let me tell you, if you are dealing with law, it's not about who is backing what. We have maintained that right from proceedings at the disciplinary committee to the so-called NEC meeting, everything about it was flawed. And we still stand by that. Do you think that you work for multimedia, you don't know me anywhere, and I tell you I've dismissed you, then you accept and pick your bag and everything, then you go?
So will he be in the party office today, for instance?
For what? He's not, please, he's not the head of the secretariat. This question has been thrown about as if you're a national chairman, you are paid by the party, and so you are doing a full-time job.
You can work anywhere?
You can work anywhere. The general secretary is the full-time worker,
okay. So,
and the head of the secretariat. So that misconception must be cleared.
So where is he working from now?
As in, Are you talking about his private?
You're saying he still sees himself as the party chairman.
Where has he been working from? No, not now. Anything that had needed Mr. Afoko's attention in the past, either if it demanded that he went to the party headquarters, he did so. Issues that were supposed to go to him at wherever he was located, it went to him for him to take the necessary action. In this day and age, you don't need to be stuck at one place to be able to work, especially when you are not the head of secretariat. So from our position, if I've indicated to you that whatever that transpired at the disciplinary committee up to the so-called NEC meeting were illegal, then it presupposes that nothing has happened. You see, I'm a member of the National Disciplinary Committee. When this matter came, I wrote a letter to recuse myself because of my association with Mr. Paul Afoko. Right? If there are other members on the committee who are also members of the National Council of Elders, if I recuse myself for a potential conflict of interest situation, what do you think should happen to those members who are members of the National Council of Elders and at the same time members of the disciplinary committee? Of course, that was a decision for them to take. I did the honorable thing, but you even put that aside. The disciplinary committee invites the national chairman. He sends his lawyers. Now look, go and raise a preliminary legal objection to jurisdiction of the committee in entertaining the matter in the first place. Because if anybody had any issues or complaints against a national executive member, the petition or the petitioner must address his or her petition to the National Council of the party. So, please, sure. This was not done. The petitioners took their petition straight to the disciplinary committee. It means that no organ of the party referred the matter to the disciplinary committee. The disciplinary committee purports to sit and take a decision. Even on the 21st of October, when the decision was supposed to have been taken, the disciplinary committee didn't have a quorum.
On the said day?
Yes, because the committee needed 5 persons to have a valid meeting. On the 21st, the committee had 4 persons. They managed to get a 5th person who was not and is not a member of the committee, in the person of MP for Takwani Swahim, Gifty Eugenia Kusi.
So to you, that decision even doesn't hold in the first place?
That is the point.
Like I said, the flag bearer is saying all party faithful should uphold the NEC decision. What does that mean exactly?
That is an opinion from the flag bearer. That is an opinion from the flag bearer. He would wish that party people respect the whatever the so-called NEC did.
So by that,
it's a call from him.
By that,
he can only call.
By that, he does.
I cannot, and other party members cannot accept a decision that was not validly taken, or legally taken, or constitutionally taken.
Such a call from the flag bearer of the party obviously carries a lot of weight.
If you say so.
Does it not?
No, that's what you are saying. I've just given you an opinion that it is not wrong for the flag bearer to say people should respect the decision of the so-called NEC meeting. That is the point. So why do you ask me that his opinions carry weight? Whether they carry weight or not, I am sitting here telling you that nobody can tell me to respect an illegality. Nobody. With all respect to you, I'm a party member If you tell me to do something and it is illegal, you think the fact that I've been asked by a senior person in the party to do it, I shouldn't think that, look, or I shouldn't consider the legality or otherwise, the constitutionality or otherwise of whatever I'm being asked to do. And I'm seated here telling you, so long as the decision is irregular, improper, unlawful, unconstitutional, I will not respect it.
Mr. Afoko also not respect it, you're saying?
That is what I'm telling you.
Well, let's get an understanding of what this means for the party. David Agbe is Executive Director of the Institute of Governance and Security. Joins us now over the telephone with some thoughts on this particular issue. Mr. Agbe, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Kanchahene.
Now, problem after problem, it seems, for the NPP. Surely, it should be doing the party more harm than good. For we don't know how is this all going to play out eventually?
Yes, I must say that the MPP is shooting itself in the foot. Done over the weekend on Friday, it's just like they somersaulted their own party's constitution. And so it is going to actually affect them politically, in a sense that if you have a political party that has lost two elections, 2008, 2012 elections, preparing itself for election 2016, one would have expected that whatever action that they will take will be quite legitimate enough that will be able to attract the attentions of the Ghanaian public, and that will be able to also ensure that they will be able to project and rebrand the party that will endure to them politically. But what they are doing, they are not doing exactly what will inure or give them a political advantage, but rather deepening the crisis, or more to the point, the conflict within their own political party, which is not good enough at all. So they've not done enough thorough thinking and doing political calculations before taking such a decision. And I must say that for Afoko, he's going to follow the political process of going through an appeal to the National Council that their decision was not correct and it will not help them. If they fail to reverse such a decision, Paul Afoko is going to challenge the matter at the court. And if he does, it is going to, more or less somersault the party's constitution, and it will not order well for a good success for the NPP at all.
Mr. Wei, let me ask you this question. The last time we spoke on this particular subject matter, you did mention that the flag bearer, that's Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, needs to intervene in this issue. He has intervened. He has come out with a statement backing the decision by the National Executive Committee, the illegal, quote-unquote, National Executive Committee meeting that came off last Friday. Now, is this the sort of intervention you are looking for?
In fact, the intervention by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is also not well calculated. That he is saying that people or the Paul Afoko camp and other group of people should respect the decisions by the National Council, which I think that it is a flawed argument to start with. When you look at the MPP's constitution or study the MPP's constitution, before such thing could be done, they should have a consensus coming from almost about 70, people who constitute the national executive. But this decision that was actually taken was almost about 11 people. And so 11 people does not constitute a national executive council. They should be able to study their own political constitution very well, whether 11 people constitute a national council member. So Nana Addo, being a lawyer, one would have expected that you would have examined their own party constitution and do checks and balance whether, those people who suspended for Afoko actually constitute a national executive or they form a legitimate forum. Because this forget that Paul Afoko is an elected officer. He is not being appointed, but an elected officer, a national chairman of that federation. And so any decision that they will take, that decision should be inure to the benefit of the party rather than doing certain things that will even deepen the crisis. By now, they should have found a ground of compromising their position such that it will send a signal to floating voters that the MPP is singing a common song, and that song will be able to paint the party in a good manner.
I see.
What they are doing, should Paul Afoko challenge the matter to court, look at the way the issue is going to play in the media, and so they need to do what we call examine the psychology of Ghanaians. How do Ghanaian voters actually vote? What are the indicators? What do they look for before they vote?
Okay.
If you are not able to do an examination of, how Ghanaians actually vote, the issues, what plays in the media, then they are not, doing themselves a good at all.
Okay,
and
so
I think that the MPP need to get political scientists who actually do some kind of evaluation and examination before they come out with some of these issues, and they are not doing practically that.
Mr. Gwe, let me ask. Let's go back to the issue of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and his capacity as the leader of the party or the flag bearer of the party. Now, how does this particular action of his position him as a leader?
I think that I would describe Nana Addo's action as a laissez-faire leader. A laissez-faire, he is not taking a good position that will be able to bring the people together. But what he is doing, he is not thinking and he is not being politically matured enough of, doing certain things that will inure to his benefit.
So in other words, Nana Addo has displayed a lot of immaturity in this.
I think that he has not demonstrated a certain leadership qualities that will be able to bring his party together. And so politically, one would say that he has a lot to do. So he shouldn't just be a major political leader, opposition leader, but he should be an exemplary enough that he will be able to carry his party on his and be able to in the party. But what he's doing, we are not seeing that demonstrable qualities. And he needs to be very careful. Going into an election 2016, shouldn't be a limping presidential candidate. He should be able to stand on his foot and be able to challenge his political opponents. But I have good message, and I have a unity. I have people following me, and those people follow me, and they'll be able to do certain things that will be champion at the cause of empathy, rather than what we are seeing. To be frank with you, he hasn't done enough, thorough thinking and examination that will actually inure to the benefit of the MPP.
David Abe, many thanks for your time on News Desk this morning. David Abe is Executive Director of the Institute of Governance and Security. Joining me also on the phone lines is Dr. Bosman Asare. He's the head of the Political Science Department at the University of Ghana. Dr. Asare, good morning. Thanks for joining us, sir.
Yeah, good morning and good morning to your viewers.
Thank you very much, sir. So, to the very first question, well, we spoke to Mr. David Abe just some few minutes ago, and he suggests that this action by the MPP flag bearer suggests a bit of immaturity. Is that an assertion you agree with?
No, I think it's something I will not agree with, because just by issuing a press statement saying that people should respect the decisions of the National Executive Committee of the party, I think it's certainly in line, and it's something which is appropriate to do as a flag bearer of a party.
So a decision that many say was premised on an illegality, an unconstitutionality in the first place. Why would a leader back such a decision?
No, I think that one thing we must understand is that as a country, we are operating our country based on the constitution, the fundamental law of the land. And all the various political parties also have their laws. They are operating with a particular document, their constitution. So if even a decision has been taken and somebody is not wholly happy with that particular decision, there are remedies, there are ways and means to use to be able to address the grievance. It is there for individuals. They take action against you. If we are not satisfied with it, let's look at the appropriate authorities or appropriate committees that can look at it. So as it stands now, if we say the National Executive Committee acted based on an illegality or they acted unconstitutionally, let's get a competent body to look at it. And if they come out, indeed, the National Executive Committee acted inappropriately, etc., then we'll get to understand. So it's too early for anyone to conclude that they acted unconstitutionally, etc. The constitution of the party is there, and we have been hearing Mr. Afoko is entertaining the idea of going to the court system or using the internal structures of the party. Let's allow this process to unfold. Once it unfolds, then we'll get a clearer picture whether something was done inappropriately or appropriately. So I think for anyone who will conclude that the flag bearer has acted unconstitutionally, has supported an unconstitutional action, I think it's too premature to make such an assertion.
Many say, as a leader who is seeking to bring unity in the party, it would have been prudent for him to, well, let the issue roll on for some time and then intervene when he needs to intervene at the most appropriate time. But as things stand, you mentioned the constitution of the party. Now, the constitution of the party clearly stipulates that the first vice chair can only act in the absence of the chairman of the party. Now, the chairman tells us he was around, he was in the country, he was not indisposed. So, again, the meeting itself shouldn't have taken place in the first place.
No, one thing we must understand is that the Constitution is supposed to be a living document. That's why when some people are interpreting the Constitution, at times they look at the contemporary realities. The Constitution is very clear that only the national chairman should call meetings, and the vice or any other person can do it only in the absence of the national chairman. But this was an instance whereby the action was being taken against the chairman. So how do you expect the chairman to call a meeting to dismiss the chairman?
But
so
there actually is a precedent to this, and I'm told Mr. Haruna Iseku found himself in a similar situation, and he did call for that meeting, and at that meeting he recused himself from the sitting.
No,
one would say that is the ideal thing.
When we look at the evidence available, this was tried several times, and the chairman will not respond. So the party took that decision. I'm not trying to justify the actions of the party, but the main thing is that the legal system is there. The chairman can go to court, can use the internal structures of the party. And I'm even thinking that this thing can be successful and the chairman can be reinstated. So the Constitution, if anybody flouts it, there are competent bodies that will say, oh, this thing has not been done well, etc. So let's make sure we do A, B, C, and D.
I see. Dr. Sai, tell us about how these internal wranglings in the NPP can affect them going into election 2016. How exactly?
Our system, our political system is based on numbers. We run the popular vote system. So it's like every number counts. And when you have someone of the stature of Mr. Paul Afoko, who has been a leading member of the NPP for several years, became the chairman and he has been expelled from that particular position, etc., then naturally you should expect that it's going to affect the fortunes of the political party, that particular party. But let's be very clear. One thing people also must look at is that if you think there is a problem in the party and that problem must be addressed, and it means getting rid of even a flag bearer or a chairman, etc., in order not to condone certain unacceptable behaviors in the party, then it's something which is good for our democracy. But if it's not being done properly, the channels, the proper procedures are not being followed, then it can also undermine the party. But let's be very clear, election 2016 is many years away. Ghanaians have a choice to decide if a government is in power and the government is doing very well, are you going to renew the mandate of the party? But if the government is also not doing well, Are you going to say that the opposition, they expelled their chairman, so if you think they can really do the job, you are not going to allow them to do it? So those are the questions I think we should be ready to answer. But I think that it depends on how the MPP is going to handle it moving forward. Mr. Afoko, in spite of whatever has happened, he is still an integral member of the political party. Maybe there may be an amicable solution and he will even be on platform campaigning for the political party. And this is a very real possibility. So my thinking is that it's too early for us to conclude that because of this particular incident, Party A cannot win or Party B is likely going to win. I think this is an internal party affair, and they have all the qualities. They have the men at the helm of affairs who will be able to address this.
I see. Again, leading party members like Dr. Arthur Kennedy, Dr. Charles Wekubrobe, they've all described what is happening in the NPP as clutching defeat from the jaws of victory. Would you say in principle that the NPP is in good pole position for next year's election?
No, I think that looking at how the Ghanaian economy, I think that the Ghanaian economy is tanking. The economy is not doing very well. And normally when you are going into elections, many people, floating voters, they look at the economy. So when we are looking at the economy argument, the MPP appears to be stronger going into the next election. But as you rightly stated, some people said maybe the party is sensing victory and they are doing certain things possible to undermine that particular victory. It's too early. As we are moving forward, Mr. Afoko is going to use either the internal structures of the party or Ghana's legal system to be able to address it. For all you know, it will work for him and he may come back as the party chairman. If even he doesn't work, the MPP still has some leading members who I strongly think that they can impress on Mr. Afoko just for the greater good of the party. Why don't we find a way to work together and still move as a particular family or as a single family? So my view is that winning the next election we still have many years. It will also depend on the performance of the current administration. As things stand now, the economy is in the tank. So if we were having elections today, many people would predict a victory for the MPP, but the MPP is having internal rankings. And since the election is about 11 months away, let's look at how the various parties are going to conduct themselves. And I think that the election is everybody's game. MPP can win it, NDC can also win it, but it mainly depends on the performance of the government. If the government is able to turn things around, if the government can really enhance the confidence of Ghanaians in the economy, if they can send a message that they are ready to address the fundamental problems Ghanaians are facing, obviously I expect Ghanaians to be able to do that. But we are also in the know that with how things are doing, things are really very difficult for many Ghanaians.
Dr. Sari, many thanks for your time on News Desk here on Joy News this morning. We really do appreciate your time. Dr. Bosman Asari is the head of Political Science Department at the University of Ghana, and he joined us over the telephone with some thoughts on this particular issue. We'll bring you much more on this, particularly. We are told there's going to be a press conference later this morning by that particular press conference is going to be chaired by the General Secretary of the party, Kwabena Ejejepon. We don't know how true it is, but we are following up closely on that particular one, as well as another press conference by some youth of the NPP. We'll bring you much more on this subsequently. That is us and when we do have that information. But right now, we're taking a break on News Desk. When we come back, we'll bring you a lot more stories. Don't go away.